everybody. Welcome to this week's Star Report. My name is Jason, and I'm coming to you from New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki here in Burnham, Texas. And this week seems like it's going to be a pretty calm week. Moving ahead, this is Wednesday, the 31st of August, and it is the last day of the month, and so August is going to go out with a gust of awakening for the last goodbyes of all this old energy that you've been working for or working on or working off for the last month or so, or maybe the last several months. All of the spiritual development you've been doing with these retrogrades, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Jupiter, Uranus, and we are in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, so we're heading towards 7 retrogrades. And today, Pluto is squaring the moon, and if you remember, Pluto is about rebirth, and it is in retrograde. So it is all of the things that we are gathering all the things together. Have been gathering all the things together since Pluto went retrograde to what would it be like to have a new life, to have a new outlook on life, to have a new perspective, to reestablish ourselves in this now. And so the moon is obviously our inner work, right? So it's Pluto's rebirth, the moon is inner work, so it's this pulling out of the inner, right? So we're magnetizing this inner stuff that we've been working on into the external life, and that's really good, because in the external world, we're also entering the sun sign of Virgo, which is about birth and giving birth to things, and so this is a really good energy for the beginning of the week, the beginning of our week, as we talk about, and then also a good ending to the month, because it's going to sort of set us up for a really, really good September. Which brings us into tomorrow, the first day of September. September will be ending in Libra, September will end in the sun sign of Libra, which is about balance, and it is also the month that has the equinox in it, so that will be September the 22nd. And so September is going to be a really sort of active month to move forward and do all the things that these retrogrades have been asking us to do. And then we'll also hit, I believe, the 9th is the couple things. The 9th is I believe it's a full moon. And the full moon on 9/9 is the end of this August 8/8 gateway, the Lion's Gate, right? So you've been running towards your new goals and working bravely on your new self, and so September 9/9 is going to be a real awakening of that stuff and sort of setting into place. 9/9 or 9, the number itself is about completion. So we're sort of ending the Lion's Gate, and all the stuff that we're working on is going to be really good. This Friday and Saturday, not much cosmically is happening. Sunday, the shop will be closed, so pay attention for that. Beginning September the 5th, it is the holiday weekend of Labor Day, which brings us into Monday of this week, as we go Wednesday to Wednesday. And that's Labor Day. So Labor Day, we usually celebrate it as the day of work, but it's also about being in labor, right? So and we're in Virgo, so it's this idea that we're giving birth to our new self still, and so it's a very powerful day while you're out having fun with the family or doing whatever you do for relaxation on Labor Day. Just sort of pay attention to that's an energy it's alive in the cosmos, which maybe the regular things you do don't feel the same, and you're birthing this new self, and all of a sudden the world, not because of how the world's been, but because of how you are, is different, and it has more possibilities, and it's not stagnant or stuck in what's coming at you, but what's coming out from you. And so just sort of pay attention that it might be a little bit different over your holiday weekend on Labor Day. And then I think that leads us to Tuesday and Wednesday. Is a Master Day, and so that Labor Day energy and the Master Day is really a good day to sort of take that leap. You'll have the energy, you'll have the effort, you'll have the wherewithal, you'll have the strength to actually put into action all of these things that you're rebirthing. Probably a good time after Labor Day. If you're looking for a new job or thinking of making a change about moving, would be a good day to sort of decide where that is, or maybe even if you've been contemplating for a while, to make that decision and go ahead and take the new job, do the new relationship, move to the new town. And that would be a really good energy. The rest of September, next week, I might not be here for the Star Report. It is the week where I go to the Gem and Mineral Festival show in Denver, Colorado. So I will be there purchasing crystals and metaphysical items for the shop. So probably won't see this video of the Star Report next Wednesday. But like I mentioned earlier, 9/10, 9/11 is really big, powerful days of the full moon. Mercury goes into retrograde, so a real big, powerful energy sort of time to have this rebirth, this into Virgo, moving into Libra, which is on the 22nd on the equinox, which equinox is about balance. And so September really is a month of completion. If you've been feeling like you've been under the weather, under the energy, that things have been just one thing after another over these last couple of weeks, whether that's been physical ailments or whether that's been emotional ailments or whether that's even been the ending or beginning of relationships or jobs, this is really coming to a stability point that you can look forward to. So even if I'm not here next week, you can take this part of the Star Report and say that September is the month of balance and spiritual completion. And so all the hard work that you've been doing will sort of come to fruition, and you'll be able to sort of breathe a little deeper. It will still be Mercury retrograde, so pay attention that how you communicate that might get garbled, and so it might be all this awakening is for you and not to be broadcast to the world until maybe October when Mercury retrograde goes away, lest there be any communication issues and the changes that you've put into place are misunderstood. So just heads up for that. Solar weather for the week. Solar weather is ramping up again. It was pretty high last week. We just had a large solar flare that went off the backside, or at least not the side that we're on. Sun. What is the backside of a interdimensional sun's out in the galaxy in the solar system? But the other side that is not Earth facing had a big, I think it was an X8 class solar flare that went off the back, and so it's actually going to strike Venus, right? So all of that stuff that you've been working on, there's been a big shot of solar energy at Venus, and so Venus is always controlling of our relationships, of our divine feminine, of our sort of morning effort stuff, right? So Venus is the morning star. And so when it sort of gets charged up, then there's opportunity to work on stuff that is revolving around Venus. And so this week we've had those solar flares. So if it's not hitting Earth, it's still going to cause a spark, maybe even a little bit of brain fog. And then we have coronal holes, which is the dark parts of the sun, which are starting to point at us this week. And so those coronal holes will cause a little bit of pressure. Look for, when coronal holes hit the planet, like upticks in heavy rains, upticks in earthquake activity, so rumbles in the ground. So if you're in an earthquake-prone area, pay attention that might spark some tremors. And just for yourself, those really sort of squeeze out like you're a sponge. That last little bit of effort, that last little bit of stuff that you're trying to detox and work on, it's going to feel a little bit of squeeze on that, but like a good squeeze, like a workout squeeze, and not a I can't breathe squeeze. So pay attention to that this week as well. And as far as that goes, that's the report for the week. It's a really short report. There's not much happening in the stars. All the retrogrades are going to remain the same. Mercury's not going to go full retrograde till the end of the week, into next week, while I'll be gone. And so just a heads up into what that's about. The 5th, so Sunday, to Sunday, I will be closed. So that would be Sunday the 10th, I believe, is usually regular hours. And then you might want to pay attention. I might post while I'm gone. The hours are going to be shifting in September as how often the shop is open. And then the hours, I've noticed here at the shop that early hours aren't necessarily the busiest, and that downtown, where the shop is located, really isn't that busy after 5 p.m. So look for the hours, which, if you don't know, are usually 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Look for the hours to move from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. When we return from Denver. So that'd be the second week of September. The hours will begin to shift. And then the Sunday hours that we usually have is usually noon to 6, with our Sundays at 7 meditation happening at 7 p.m., obviously 7. And those will still remain when we return, but we won't be having the Sunday hours of retail. So pay attention to that if you're usually a Sunday shopper, where you make it into the shop and hang out with me for a couple hours, because it's not that busy. That Sunday retail from noon to 6 will be ending in September. And then look forward to adding transformational breathwork or elemental rhythm breathwork classes. So they'd be group classes on Sunday mornings instead, but we haven't picked a start time or a duration for those yet. Probably be contemplating that while we're on vacation. But then also look for a special announcement about a an equinox, September 22nd event that will be happening here at the shop, and look forward to participating in that. That will be involving a little bit of breath work. So look for a separate announcement on that. So that's the things that are happening at the shop. Your astrological weather is just the way it used to be, but we're entering a time where it's, instead of cleansing, instead of activation, instead of feeling like work, it is becoming fruition. And so look for the energy to shift, and so your attitude to shift too as well, not like a dread, but a sense of optimism that what you're doing is, what you've been thinking about is becoming available to you, and manifesting, becoming external, and not just a contemplation. And that the things that you've been hoping for are really here at your grasp if you decide to act. Now, things always happen when you decide to act, so make sure that you're acting, whether that's actively thinking, actively praying, or that's actually actively doing these things so that they become to fruition. You have to help the universe out sometimes. And then the solar weather is just going to be kicking off. There's plenty of solar spots, sunspots that are pointing towards us that erupt. That'll be spinning towards the Earth-facing part of the sun over the next week. So look for that. And those are just going to cause a little bit of brain fog, maybe some feelings of anxiety if they hit the planet. And things will cause the Earth to have a little bit of solar weather, which is usually electrical storms. So that is the week. Those are some announcements. I thank you very much for joining me every week here for the Star Report. Pay attention next week for a special announcement. And when we return, we will have different hours here at the shop. And as usual, I'm wishing you many blessings.